Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are going to dive into a technique and a piece of terminal tackle that won Best of Show at this year's ICAST. Now, terminal tackle is definitely a competitive market. There's a lot of different companies that make terminal tackle. So we're gonna dive into why this piece of tackle or why this piece of terminal tackle actually won and the nuances behind it and really what it does underwater that makes all the difference.
Let's go.
We're here in Mexico. We are in the Dominican Republic. So I'm gonna tell you a couple different tips that have helped me over the years.
Wow! Unbelievable! Jacob Wheeler makes history!
So Ned Rigs has definitely came on strong over the last 5 years. Absolutely from the smallmouth world, spotted bass, largemouth, does not matter. We're pretty much any competitive angler and or pond hopper, bank fisherman owns some type of Ned rig. It just catches a lot of fish and it catches some big ones too. All that whole mindset of, oh, the little small baits only catch little ones. We've come to realize very quickly, especially with pressure on our bodies of water, that those big fish still want a small bite every now and again. So this technique has been around for a while now, and so when there's sometimes little small things that actually come out, that you're like, okay, what is that gonna do? And with this new product from BMC, it's called the Swinging Ned Rig Jig. Okay, I just call it the Swinging Ned. And so with this, it's an articulated head, and what I mean by articulated is it's simply, basically, it's free swinging. It has a hook connected to an eye down there, and it basically allows for that freedom of that rig to be able to utilize it and have full freedom. So the reason this, or like all right, Jacob, like why is that a cool, or why is that a good system? And I'm gonna show you exactly why. So this is a 3/16 right here. I'm gonna rig one up, and I'm gonna show you sort of how I rig this up first and explain. So I'll take, you know, a green pumpkin watermelon. This is a Crush City BLT Ned, and this is TPE. So this is like that really stretchy stuff that actually floats up to, or it'll stand up most of your 1/8 and your 3/16 ounce heads. But when you get up around that 3/16 quarter, a lot of with that TPE, it's hard to be able to have enough plastic to really stand up those quarters and those 3/8 ounce heads. So here's this jig head. I'll actually love to do it 2 different ways. One, Texas rigging this. This is actually a #1 finesse Nico hook. So I'll Texas rig it, so if I'm fishing brush piles and or around trees or snags or grass, I don't want to get in there, great way to do it. You're gonna have that free swing, and so what happens is once it hits the bottom, that bait will stand up. It'll stand up, it'll keep that bait up off the bottom, and it doesn't allow it to lay on the bottom, and it has a lot more of a natural look. So, that being said, that's one way of rigging it. The other way of rigging it is just threading it on like you would a regular Ned rig. If you want it exposed, you can do so. Basically, you have a fluorocarbon keeper right there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. There's a fluorocarbon keeper right there. And as I sort of tuck that over that keeper, not perfectly lined up right there, but I'm gonna have to, sometimes I'll stretch him a little bit, get him right there, boom. You can see now I have a regular Ned, whoop. So regular Ned right there. So that's two ways of rigging it. And the whole reason, you know, I worked with VMC on this one. It's not a Signature Series product for me, but this is something that I worked on with them directly because I personally saw an issue with Ned rig fishing with, like, I throw a lot of quarters, I throw a lot of 3/8. I don't get the benefit of that bait floating up like I want it to. And so with this is a way of actually utilizing on heavier heads, especially if I'm fishing deeper water, I'm still getting the benefit of that bait, you know, with that action down there low, and the benefit of that TPE and that floating material really rising up and giving me a little bit of action. So I'll show you right here. Here's a normal Ned head, okay? Here's a normal Ned head right here. This guy is a 3/8 ounce. And so as I cast this one out, I'll show you guys underwater. You'll see it right now. That bait is on the bottom. It shakes around. It does its thing. It's sort of shimmying around and whatnot. and it doesn't stand up. When I go to rest it, if I pop it up, it'll come up a little bit. But when I stop and I'm trying to shake it, it's laying flat or laying on the bottom like that. And to me, over years and years of experience, now being able to actually see with forward-facing sonar, that I know what my bait is doing for the pool and everything else now. So I want to give those fish a better look of what's going on and a more of a natural looking action to trigger those fish into biting. So with that being said, the 1/4 and the 3/8, I'll show you guys what that looks like. This video is actually with the 3/8, so a heavier head if you're fishing in deeper water. This is a great size for casting out there, fishing in super deep water, especially with finesse tactics. And I'll throw it right now. So when you see this right here, you're going to see as I throw that bait in the water and it gets down there, of course, the one thing you're going to see is the action of, because of that, with this Ned rig, and this Ned bait, I wanted to make it more of a slimmer Ned bait overall, so that way it had more action in the tail. But you also see as I shake that bait is obviously shaking, but it's also coming up. Now this is more so on the regular threaded portion of it, and you'll see how it floats that hook and does that very well. No matter how much weight I put on it, I'm able to utilize that and still get the good action of that Ned rig and of that system. So really important. And then now jumping into the Texas rig style version of this and showing you guys the underwaters there, popping it around. He's a little bit more, he's not as, I don't know, so like, I wouldn't say as whippy. He doesn't have as much freedom, but I really have learned over the last few years, throwing a Ned bait, Texas rigging a Ned bait is really played well for me in getting bites. And so if you get in a position where you're like, you're in some hangy stuff, you can do both with this rig. And that's one thing that it really allows for me to have more action in my Ned baits, whether I'm fishing shallow or deep, but it also allows me to have that bait float up and do all the things that I wanted to do with one Ned bait. And that's important. So anyway, I don't want to go on and on about this deal, but I wanted to explain to you all why, because a lot of times that I cast, something wins best of show, and you're just like, okay, like why did it win best of show? I mean, and a Ned rig's not flashy. Okay, a Ned head is not flashy, but it did bring something to the market a little bit different and gives you guys that opportunity to rig it multiple different ways, so you're getting the most bang for your buck no matter what the condition you're dealing with. This swinging Ned is going to be ready to roll. So check it out. They are available now. If you guys are looking for some, check them out, Academy. They actually, I just saw them on the end caps. They're available. I'll try to drop a link as well. And then that's just the Ned BLT, the 3-inch that are available as well. They're right there. Boom, boom. But I wanted to tell you guys what was up. So appreciate you all following along, and hopefully you guys learned a little bit something from this video. Next time you guys get out there on the water, make sure to tag me on the water. Let me know what's going on, okay? Let me know what's going on my Instagram, on X, on Facebook. Let me know what's transpiring. As always, good luck. We'll see you on the next one.